Dante, another episode. It's been a while. We're back from London. We've got to actually do some content or something rather than just wandering around and
pretending that our mate is crashing through glass and all that sort of
stuff. Well, you say pretending, but he did actually.
We have to say that for legal reasons, otherwise we implicate him.
Turns out that many taserings do long term damage. But look, man, it's been, you know what, we are hitting the crush period of the year, and I just know that you've been as excited as I've been for the latest Daggerella game. Did you pick it up on launch day? Did you pick up Daggerella 3?
I was so excited for it. I was really looking forward to Daggerella 3, but then I heard about all this stuff to do with Karen Term and all those things that. The voice actress Karen Turn, the one who said that she just wasn't paid properly by the company that made it, and that voice actors in general are completely shafted as she would be.
Where did this come from? I bought the game and everything. I'm well excited about it. What
you did? You clearly hate voice actors and actresses. Then
well, I mean, not all of them.
But yeah,
I mean, I have tread the boards. I mean, not professionally or even amateur, but I've been on the stage before. Well, it was in a court, but anyway, But what have I done wrong now? Who am I not supporting now?
Well, it's the underpayment of voice actors and actresses in general. The company only paid her, I think it was £3,000 for the entire thing, and this is like the third iteration of a long-running franchise.
She's the one with the voice. It's like the air sort of,
she's a naughty. I'm Daggerella, and you're going to be. So she has that very kind of very. It's very much part of the character, and they just replaced her with some other voice actress. So
wow, that is. So how did you hear about all this? Because it's just passed me by. I was just too busy playing the game and enjoying it.
Yes, clearly because that's what we don't like to talk about controversy. We just like to play games. But it was all over YouTube. A lot of the kind of big ones covered it. So IGN, Gene Sterning, Yeong, all those people. They just kind of did stories on it, and I thought, I completely support this person. She seems like someone who's been really hard done by the video games industry, and it's time to take a stand like we do here at Jambags.
Well, I mean, I am quite tempted to swallow my Switch cartridge.
You're always tempted to swallow your Switch cartridge. You love tasting.
And also protest this Daggerella 3 thing. I'm not gonna. I'll swallow that one. Yeah, that makes sense. Just let me just make sure though. What have we got? Anything have we got any clips from it we can play from it to like listeners what's going on? What did she? While I try and get the cartridge down my throat.
I'm gonna have to try and get the investigative team on that. The basic auto Google system to kind of come back with something later on.
Okay. Well, I guess in the meantime, I'll just try and swallow my cartridge in protest. Hold on.
Hey, really, your face is going red. Now purple, and kind of blue. Can you bring up some yellow? Maybe kind of warm the room. That's better. Thank you. You are not going to get a Heimlichen like that anywhere near as good this side of Christmas, sir.
I mean, I have not been handled like that since private school.
No, absolutely.
I might just need a minute to have a cigarette or something like that.
Not since you were in the Scouts, I don't think. Anyway, welcome Jambaggers. Welcome to this month's Jambags Comedy Gaming Podcast. We're here to deliver news nuggets of the gaming world to your ears with a satirical twist. I am your host, Mr. Dante Rodriguez, and this is my esteemed co-host,
Mr. Rudy Manchego.
That's right, and we are here to talk about gaming, what's been going on with gaming. Obviously, we've been talking about Daggerella or some other Bayonet game that's a bit like it.
For legal reasons, it's Daggerella.
It's Daggerella this time, yes. So, so it's been sort of a long month, but there's been some games released at least this month as well. Have you been playing anything new, Mr. Manchego?
I have been. I've been saying earlier, I've not had much time. There's stuff in my personal life, not much time space. But what I have been getting into, apart from Daggerella 3, is I've been smashing out a little bit of Plague Tale Requiem once I can, get through the misery of it, in the sense of it's a good game, but it's very long and it's just pure misery upon misery. It's just like, but
I never got round to the first one because it did seem quite a bit of a downer. But
it is, and I'm not great at stealth games, so it's nearly all stealth and stealth and puzzles, but the stealth bit I find tough. But it's good, and I'm kind of hooked. This first one got me hooked in the story. The second one is I want to see where it goes. So it's cool. But as I said, I'm playing at small doses, so it's taking me ages to get through it. And sat on my shelf is the, no doubt Game of the Year contender God of War Ragnarok. Just sat there, just shouting "boy" at me. Boy. But I haven't had a chance I haven't had a chance to sit down and play it, which is really annoying me. But I want to finish Plague Tale because I don't want to. If I lose, if I get into something else, I'll just never come back to it. So I will finish that, and feel a bit of retro game. I've been doing a bit more Metroid gaming in sort of. I'm doing a bit of playing some old arcade games on one of my handheld devices. Played through a bit of Terminator 2 arcade shooter game and Jurassic Park shooter game. Yeah, some old classics. Just kind of, because it turns out when you've got unlimited lives, it only take about 45 minutes to complete all the way through. It's just that they're designed for you not to be able to survive through them. So when it's unlimited, you can get through them.
Like unlimited quarters, as they'd say in the States.
Absolutely, yes. You just press start and go, it's just, I feel like I'm really rich, even though it's not costing me anything. But how about yourself, man? What have you been up to? Games.
I have been very sort of cyberpunk aesthetic, but not actually the cyberpunk game, although I probably will do another playthrough of that fairly soon. I've been playing the Cloud Punk delivery service game, which I think I'm sort of 2/3 of the way through the main campaign of the first one. I'm still enjoying that. It's a very sort of chilled game. It
is chill.
Yeah, very, very easy to just kind of do a little bit and advance the story and kind of grab a few collectibles while you're kind of in different parts of the city. It's a really good game. I'd definitely recommend that. And I've also been going a bit retro, maybe not quite as retro as you've been, but I have gone all the way back to, I'd say one of my favourite games of the 360 era, Deus Ex Human Revolution.
Oh, I can consider it a bit of a tasty classic, that one is, from that era.
Yes, I think so. It kind of feels like a sort of a cyberpunk version of Dishonored in a way, because you've got all that different player choice. Maybe not quite as well designed levels, not as quite as much kind of freedom of movement and approach, but you still do get that option to kind of use hacking or use kind of use your conversation skills, or obviously you can just shoot your way through people. But I'm attempting to go through it without killing anybody this time, so. I'm doing pretty well so far, and it's just such a great, engaging story, that one. I really, really like that game because of its narrative as well as the gameplay. It's from, again, I think, an era where narrative and gameplay were both so very, very strong, which I don't think you see as often here. I think there are some exceptions, like God of War, for example, but for the most part, you kind of get one or the other, or sometimes you get neither. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, that's one of the reasons I'm so engaged in Plague Tale. It's a unique story where, I'm not seeing a medieval set thing where it's not about warfare and it's, about a relationship between a brother and sister. It's just that kind of, I like me a good story, and
yes,
it seems to be lacking, lacking a bit in some games.
Yeah. I mean, these are the games that I feel like are big kind of gaps in my modern-ish gaming sort of backlog, if you like. It's the Plague Tales and the other one that's got a sequel out soon. The
Vagina Monologues.
Yeah, absolutely, the Vagina Monologues.
Yeah, that's one of my favourite narrative-based games.
The one about mental health with the Hellblade.
Senua's Sacrifice.
Senua's Sacrifice. Thank you. Yes. Good gosh, I didn't think I was getting old, but apparently I am.
Yeah, it's. I've got that on. I've got that on PC VR to give a playthrough at some point. See what the VR version's like. But I've already played it and I enjoyed it. But I also, maybe I will get a chance before the next game comes out. I haven't quite decided yet. But yeah, it's cool. But I mean, apart from that, it's not been much. But this is a busy season for games, isn't it? There's a lot
It should be. It feels like it's a busy season for Sony. I don't think it's that busy for Microsoft, to be quite honest. I think a lot of the stuff that I'm looking forward to from Microsoft is coming out in the spring. There's Starfield and Redfall are both ones which are fairly high on my list.
Yeah,
they're not out this year.
I mean, there's a few things. There's quite a few indies I want to play at the moment that I haven't got around to. I still haven't got around to playing Last Hero, Nostalgia.
I've been playing that, and then that's good. Again, I've kind of gotten so far with it, and again moved on to other games for a little bit. I've been finding it difficult to really focus on one game until I started playing Deus Ex again, and really made me feel that narrative pull that you just don't seem to get. Even though Nostalgia is a great game, it's just not quite as engaging as that storyline in Deus Ex.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? So, I mean, yeah, but there's lots going on. There's so much going on in the news. There's so much going on. We've got a lot of big 2023. There's been some fab games. Still some relatively big games to come. Obviously, I did it like the FIFA and the COD re-releasing, and then still a few titles to come. I'm still looking forward to Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core remake, the PSP remake, just because I really love the Final Fantasy VII remake unexpectedly. So I'm going to give that a go. Just 'cause I, fancy some big budget over the top silliness and lots of sighing and kind of thing which you get in most of the Japanese based games.
I don't know. I keep thinking I should give these games another try. I mean, even that remake one, it's I don't know, just something about it just didn't gel with me after the first few levels. But I don't know. So many other people seem to really rate them. I feel like I should give it another try.
Yeah, I'm not gonna push. It's totally up to you, man. It's totally up to you. But yeah, okay, that's it. So we've got quite a juicy episode. We've got quite a lot of news stories to get through. So shall we get on with it?
I think it's about time we did that.
Hells yeah. And hey, Jambaggers, it is time for our regular news segment from the Jambags, where we delve into our sacks of news goodness and give you the choicest picks. I'll get this right one day, Dante. We've got some news stories for you that are quite good. I don't know.
They are quite good news stories.
Yeah, and the first one I've got for you, I'm going to hit you with, is what we all like, is to see someone who considers themselves to be self-important taking down a peg or two. So I'm going to go for the fact that it's an alleged, the keyword being alleged, so no one considers an alleged con artist of the week. So, is
that like we have to say we're parody people now, just in case?
Very much so. We are a parody. We are a podcast, but we're a parody podcast.
A parody of a good podcast.
But we are also who we say we are. It's very complicated now on Twitter. But anyway, the thing is that there is the self-proclaimed industry icon, Tommy Tallarico. Have you heard of Tommy at all?
I very, very briefly, just, he does music for games, right?
Yeah, so he's done music for things like Earthworm Jim back in the day, but he does lots of other stuff, like, he ran his own sound sort of production company, so did like a sound effects for different things, lots of video games, particularly like, the stuff, noughties and 90s and noughties. Runs Video Games Live, which is like big concerts that go around the world playing video game music.
I've heard of that,
he's done TV shows reviewing games and stuff in the early 2000s, like a sort of TV show where he did sort of stuff like that. He's started the Intellivision system, which is going through some problems. The Amico like Intellivision relaunch, where he bought the brand and was going to have something for cooperative play, and that's not going very well either. But so anyway, he's had a detailed expose of his many fibs put out there by YouTuber HBomberGuy, who's a great YouTuber. Definitely recommend a lot of his documentaries and stuff, some about games, some aren't. But in the video, it is alleged that he has lied about the creation of the Roblox oof sound, which he says he created and was reused in one of his games and tries to get some money for it. But it's an interesting kind of rabbit hole of trying to explore what happened to the youth sound. Then it's like he's lied on crowdfunding platforms, lied about being some of the amount of games he's worked on, lied about some Guinness records he reckons he has in terms of the number of games he's played on. And he's even lied about the fact that he's been on MTV Cribs going around his strange mansion.
Surely they could prove that by the fact that the episode never aired.
Quite easily, yeah. They did. He does prove it. Quite easily proves it was never actually on it. It's not even on the episode list. But we decided that this is an interesting story. It's getting some traction, obviously, because he's quite a big YouTuber. His HBomberGuy. We've got a few million views already on this video. So we want to ride those coattails with our own news story and our investigative, Jambags investigative journalism division, i.e.
That's the Google machine, isn't it?
Yeah, Dante and me Googling stuff quickly before the show starts, can reveal that Tommy Tallarico isn't just an alleged con artist. He is not even a human, allegedly.
What?
Yeah,
I didn't Google that. Where did you find that?
Wow, this is we're through the looking glass here, people. Because in fact, he's actually a singing llama known locally as Titsy T. Okay,
it makes sense now.
Yeah, and basically, he's got a very unique sounding screech, and that's the kind of sound effect that's been translated into and used in things like the oof sound and a lot of game soundtracks. That's actually it's kind of become a cash cow. But Titsy T has invested their money into hiring a live actor to front it up, hence why it looks like it's someone talking, but it's actually just an actor as a mouthpiece, and fronts the whole operation. Whereas Titsy has, behind the scenes, had a string of high-profile romances and sexual encounters across the game industry, has been named in 7 lawsuits related to spitting, hissing, and hoofing game developers when unhappy with soundtracks. So... we're not so. Tommy Tallarico isn't just a potential alleged, con man. He's a llama called Titsy T, and we broke it here first, guys. This is
that's an exclusive. You heard that on Jambags.
Yeah. So I just wanted to get that out there. It's on our news section. But anyway. Dante,
anyone who reprints that is going to be giving us money, right? That's money coming.
I think it's how it works, except for us giving money to H Bomber Guy because
he probably did it first anyway. But anyway, yes. So moving on to complete fraud like that to just something that's not quite finished properly, which is the sequel to the looter shooter, hero shooter series, a kind of massively multiplayer online game, Undercrotch. There's Undercrotch 2, which is a free-to-play game.
Activision Snowstorm,
Activision Snowstorm putting that one out. Yeah, thinking, that I did consider giving it a go because, free to play. I thought, couldn't go wrong there. But apparently, it's something I should steer well clear of.
Why is that?
Well, it's, again, generally kind of unfinished, and it's not only, got kind of a fairly extreme monetization, sort of loot boxes, and it also has quite a lot of bugs in the game, but it's like those two things have combined themselves. Essentially, you could go in and get one of the free starter pack loot boxes, and depending on which loot box you pick, it might start a particular bug. It might completely kill your frame rate. It might make all the characters start talking in German instead of English, which is not what you chose. You just kind of open up a loot box, and who knows what kind of bug you're going to get.
So is there any other incentive to open a loot box? Can you get anything that won't break your game?
I think there are a few items in there that are supposedly quite good for your game, but I think the detriment of the other thing that comes with it that just kind of completely wipes your console's hard drive is probably best stay away from the loot boxes as well.
Wow. I mean, so there's not even a glimmer of hope to get you to... I mean, I don't know how it's a bold move. I don't know how it's going to work out for them.
I don't know if they meant to do it on purpose or if it's just something that's kind of happened. If the bugs have actually taken over the game, become self-aware, and have then started trying to ransom off. I think that the idea is that they that you kind of open one loot box which opens up a particular bug, and then you kind of keep. You get this kind of message coming up on your screen that says, actually, if you keep opening up another loot box, you've got a 0.01% chance of getting the loot box that clears all the bugs away. So it's almost like kind of built-in ransomware created by an AI system within the game that's probably going to end up ruling all of us in a couple of months' time.
That does seem like the most logical explanation for it, not laziness. But I'm not to get something out before the end of the business quarter. But yeah, I mean, that's an interesting. I mean, and I think we just say that we welcome our AI overlords, and
we do, in fact, welcome our AI overlords completely, and feel like they can use our kind of shells or podcasts for any kind of such purposes that they feel.
Yeah, we make great propagandists for your agendas if you have any agendas that you wish to do. So, I mean, you talk about some accidental bugs,
robotic AI, yes.
Yeah, yes. You're talking about some accidental bugs and obviously also some things here. But here's something actually a bit more deliberate than that, potentially. So
Possibly.
Nintendo are in the news now because, and to do with their evergreen unpopular Pokemon franchise. It's the real thing that's driven the Switch sales, particularly in recent years. So the Nintendo Pokemon franchise are in the news again because it's because they've got the latest double whammy, the new Pokemon, those are the dual games, which is
they
Pokemon.
always bring them out two at a time, don't they? I mean, I don't really understand that. Apparently, they're both the same game.
The same game, but with a different lead, something like a character, something you start off with. So you just start from a different perspective,
okay.
but it's a way that if you want to get the full set, you kind of have to get back. But the latest one, Pokemon Rosy Finger Dawn, is launching with a day one graphical downgrade, which is a new one, and that's kind of right because the Switch is Nintendo can see the Switch is small but perfectly capable of running very fun cartoon style animations. Looking at Mario Kart 7, it was in Mario Odyssey, Splatoon. Actually really good looking games running on limited hardware. But the great and ever knowing Ninty decided that players really don't want that from a latest release on the Switch. Something that's well optimized. What they actually want is a Nintendo 64 game. So what they've done is that they are patching on day one. When you get it, you'll be forced to download a patch which will set your graphics back to about 1997.
Yeah, full on kind of 640 by 480,
absolutely
256 colors. Yeah,
and there's rumors that the roadmap ahead features more of these patches. So you'll probably go back to having. There's rumors that you might go back to the Game Gear, then the Game Boy, and then possibly even get a patch that takes the graphics right back to the original Game and Watch, style games. Just basically there's a sepia tinted and 3 blocks bleeping around. To really take it back to basics.
Style, wow.
It's got to be. It's a Nintendo move. It's the kind of thing that they're crazy for. Most people spend their time post game trying to tweak the graphics, make things better. Not these guys. They're like, why even bother? Let's just go right back to the start.
I'd feel like they'd rather you just bought some amiibos and other toy related things and never actually played their games because then they have to actually make the game work.
Exactly. So it's just like, well, let's just go backwards. Let's just make it something that goes bleep occasionally, and that's just it. The new games are Pokemon bleep or bloop. Depending which one you get, goes bleep, bloop.
Yeah.
Bleep. Got to catch
sure
them all.
Will run out and
bleep.
will buy it because it seems to have such brand loyalty and people.
Exactly. You might get shiny bleeps. Shiny bleep.
Yeah.
Sure. My bleep was better than that bleep. It's now a legendary bleep.
Oh wow! Yeah. If it's legendary, it must be worth something.
Exactly.
Okay. So our last news story is absolutely the humdinger, the real kind of exclusive.
We've got absolutely. You were briefing me on this one. So give me the news story. You are our lead correspondent on this one. We need to absolutely get this lead story.
I've completely followed up on this 100%, and it's a definite, genuine fact. So, in a long-running kind of stories of a lot of video game execs and game creators being found out and arrested for insider trading, we have found that CEO of Square Enix, Yosuke Matsuda, has in fact been found out to be and admitted to me personally that he has been insider trading.
I mean, wow, this is a hell of a scoop for the Jambags Comedy Gaming Podcast too.
This is going to put us on the map. We are now going to be like a serious gaming news outlet after this one.
Yeah, so stand aside Jason Schreier, Dante Rodriguez is on the flipping case. He hasn't talked to what's his name again? I completely didn't write it down. It's
Yosuke Matsuda. Mr. Square. It's Mr. Square.
Mr. Square. Jason Schreier hasn't got that information. Kotaku hasn't got it. IGN haven't got it. Flipping, I don't know. CNN haven't got it, but we have got it. Tell me. So, in his words, what exactly did he say to you? Give me the admission. What did he say?
Something along the lines of, been doing a bit of insider trading. Don't see it as a particularly big deal, and it's just a bit of a laugh, really, is what he said. Right.
So you talked to the CEO of Square Enix, a multi-million-dollar corporation.
100%.
And he said, well, it's just a bit of fun, really. Is that Is that what? Right, okay.
It's exactly how it happened. I went over to Tokyo and kind of interviewed him, and he was very frank with me about what was going on.
And he said again,
Yeah, insider trading. It's a bit of a love in it. Yeah, said that.
Right. Just doing a bit of quick amateur Googling on Mr. Square Enix here. And he only speaks Japanese. So how did you communicate? Yeah. So I'm interested because obviously we don't have the budget to stretch to any kind of linguist to assist you. So how did you gain the colloquialisms of it's a bit of a laugh, isn't it?
But I happen to be fluent in conversational Japanese. It just, something I just woke up one day and I could speak Japanese. It was very, very strange.
Okay. Speak some Japanese to me.
That was horrendously racist, wasn't it?
That was, you lied to me because that isn't Japanese. And secondly, that is, well, we're going to get kicked off YouTube and as well for this one.
No.
Did you, can I just outside of that one, can I take it with that bizarre attempt to cover your tracks with some casual racism? Did you actually talk to him in any way?
No, I wasn't even in the same city as him. I was in Kyoto instead of Tokyo.
Were you even in Japan?
No, I was maybe somewhere near China. I was actually in a China shop. I went for Chinese takeaway.
In?
Basildon.
Right. Okay. Well, I kind of regret sending all those tweets to Jason Scry calling him a hack now. Never mind.
That's still going to work out for us. That's just a bit of fun.
Yeah, I'm going to cover my tracks with a good doxing. Well, okay, Jambaggers, that was the slightly disappointing finale from the Jambags news section. I think we just need to move on to Sunny Gas now. I thought that was going to forget it. I was going to send an apology tweet to Jason. Jason didn't.
I think he's blocked you already.
Yeah.
Also, I think Twitter's just not working anymore.
Yeah. Okay. Well, great. You heard about this? Anything about the launch of the new streaming service from Amazon, Dante? The cloud streaming gaming service.
I haven't. Is it like kind of cloud gaming and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah. So basically, I think it's called Amazon Luna. It's available in the United States, America. So if you have any listeners there, you can listen to it. But hasn't made its way to sort of foreign shores, hasn't it? But basically, the idea being is that you can get like just free games and stuff through sort of your Prime account and.
I don't know. It feels like a risky proposition. I know there's other people who've tried to get in on cloud streaming gaming.
I think these guys. This is a big tech company. I think it'll be fine. There's not like I can't even think of anything else that's no other big tech companies have tried this and failed on their asses at all, have they? So yeah, I'm looking forward to Amazon Luna. I think it's the future. What's that?
Oh, has awakened the great Dan Danielson through the spirit of the great Goog, who will talk about the wonder that is Stadia. Why, oh Rudy, would you have Amazon Luna?
Sorry, what? Sorry, I don't know why you are and why on a podcast again, Dan. Danielson.
It is I, Dan Danielson. I am the great advocate, the great evangelist for the wonder that is the Google Stadia, the future of gaming.
Google Stadia. What? That streaming service that Google were trying to get people to get invested in.
Yeah, just Google it. Yeah, of course you know about Stadia. I've been on your podcast many times.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's like whenever I think of Stadia, I just have like, I don't know, just an image of nothingness. I mean, you are aware that it's been closing down, aren't you?
What? Stadia? No, Stadia's the future. It's not closing down, is it?
Stadia is dead. They're refunding stuff. I've had refunds from Google from it. Their January 18th thing is you won't be able to play any games anymore. They're refunding everyone the games and their hardware if you bought it through the store.
Oh, great Goog, why did you let me sleep for so long? Oh, you needed me and I wasn't there. Oh, no, I've lost my job now.
Are you all right? You are again.
Sorry, the weird accent comes with the Google kind of job. If it disappears, then I go back to my old sort of Guildford voice, I'm afraid. Oh no!
Did they not discuss this with you when they sort of closed all their studios and everything and their sort of Google Stadia divisions? Have you just been?
No, I was in like a big swirly skybeam thing for the past few months. To be honest, didn't know what was going on. Just kind of hanging around up there waiting for someone to say Stadia, and then nobody did till you did. So
it has been a while since. I mean, did you not think that the fact that no one used the word for several months suggests that it wasn't going so well? Maybe.
Well, I mean, time works differently when you're in the presence of the great Goog, innit?
Yeah.
So yeah, but I'm shocked. The future of gaming is no longer the future of gaming. I mean, what are we going to do? Got no job, and the great light of the great Goog is no longer shining on me, and I don't know how I'm going to move on with my life and have purpose again.
Well, how can I introduce you to this pamphlet and a personal friend of mine, which is the Bezos?
Oh, the great Jeffrey.
The great Jeffrey, yeah, exactly. So why don't you hop ship now and get yourself onto the great Amazon Luna?
Amazon Luna.
Yeah.
That's absolutely
hail
right.
the Bezos in the sky. He's on a rocket.
No. Yes. Oh, yes, it's screaming up into the stars. Oh, the great and mighty Jeffrey. Oh, let me suck that rocket, Jeffrey. I want it. Oh, yes, absolutely. Oh, you're right, the great Luna. Yes, it does. It rolls off the tongue so nicely. Oh, the great Amazon Luna. Oh, thank you so much, Rudy. Now, someone in Scunthorpe is talking about Luna. I've got to go.
Oh man, I'm never mentioning Amazon Luna on this podcast ever again. I can't deal with this guy.
What's that, Rudy? You said the great Luna and the great Bezos, and we'll come to bring warmth to your life. Oh, no, sorry, it's not that guy in Scunthorpe's nearly stopped talking about him. I'll be back.
So, Jambaggers, we are bringing back a segment from the good old days of the podcast, which we're calling the Jammers, where we get a chance to talk to people involved in the games industry in different formats and stuff like that. And we've tied this one. And the reason we brought it back is we've managed to gain access to the voice actor at the center of the Daggerella 3 Storm, Karen Term. She is on the phone with me now from an undisclosed location because of internet and anonymity and stuff like that. But what I'm going to get a chance now is to get to the bottom of the story of just why Karen is telling us all to boycott Daggerella 3 and potentially throw our lifeless bodies at the doors of Plutonium Games, the game maker. So, Karen's Term, thank you very much for coming on the podcast with us.
You're right, Ducks, no problem. Glad to be here.
You are a voice actor?
Oh, yeah, totally. I love a bit of voice acting, mate. I'll do that a little bit. In between shopping and when I'm kind of going and doing people's nails and stuff like that. Yeah, that's what I do.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. You don't sound very much like your Daggerella character. I mean, is that obviously that's a persona you portray? I guess.
Oh yeah, no, I slip into different personas anytime I want. I'll do a bit of Daggerella. Do you want me to do a bit Daggerella for you?
Yeah. I mean, it'd be good for the audience to know that I'm talking to the real Daggerella.
It'll cost you $1,000.
Sorry?
It'll cost you $1,000
for you to say a sentence for Daggerella 3.
Oh, go on then, because it's you, because you're right, cute. But I'll give you a little freebie. Oh, Rudy. Oh, Rudy. Oh, my dear. I'm afraid I'm going to have to dagger you up senseless, my boy.
Well, that definitely sounds like a bit of Daggerella 1 or 2
you think?
speech.
Oh, no, I wasn't really giving it my phone. Normally I have to have 15 cups of coffee, maybe 20 fags before I can get really into Daggerella. So thanks, you're very sweet.
No, you're welcome. But okay, so tell me about that. You're calling on all gamers and not any games, everyone else to in your words, don't buy Daggerella 3. Donate the money. Yeah. Don't donate the money to some charities of your choice. that you've said, not any other charities, just the ones that you specified. And if you're really feeling passionate to physically assault the building with your body of Plutonium Games, the producers, whether the developers of the game. So what's the rationale? What's the reason for that?
It's them guys at Plutonium Game. I mean, they did me right up the wrong, and they did do me that way as well. But also, then they didn't give me a lot of money for my voice actor, and it's the third game. You'd think, it's made a fair bit of money around the world now, and I'm worth it. I'm worth the extra money.
So how much, if you don't mind me asking, I know it's crude to talk about money, but how much were you actually being offered for the game to voice the third entry in the Daggerella series?
Oh, it's not a crude. I don't mind being a bit crude with you, Rudy. But it was $3,000 to do the whole game.
Really? Because I've been talking to a few people that are in the know, obviously work for the sound recording studios and agents and stuff like that, and they're saying that the figure's a little bit different from that.
Oh, really? Okay. I mean, what did they say?
Well, I've got pretty strong evidence here that you're actually offered something in line with 3,000 or $3,000 per minute of recorded audio. And bearing in mind it is a 14-hour game, you're going to be made. That's a bit different, isn't it?
I mean, I know. I mean, it's just these terms that you're using here, really, just to confuse me. Oh, I'm so flustered. I'm so confused. I mean, game, hour, minute, session, second. These are all very interchangeable terms,
They don't feel that interchangeable. So, if I understand it, you're actually getting paid what could be considered a generous industries package.
I mean, I didn't want to use the word kind of record-breaking salary, to be honest, but, I still feel like I deserve more, because, I'm Daggerella,
Right, well, not anymore, but and I got to ask...
I should have been. I got that taken away from me by that bitch, Karen McGovern.
Well, that is quite a reach for Karen, the other Karen. But, okay, so... Tell me a little bit about one of the things you've been saying you've been keen on people is you've said that don't give money to Plutonium Games for this game. Give the full money and possibly a bit more to a set number.
Do not treat their employees right, so give the money to some good causes. These good causes that I have written down here.
Yeah, so I've been going through your good causes. Can I just
Yeah, help yourself. Have a good read.
Okay, there's some pro fox hunting charities.
Well, it's like foxes, and people think they're cute, but they're nasty pieces of work. Them foxes.
Okay, friends of Vladimir Putin.
That's my mum was Vladimir Putin's concubine, so I like to kind of pay him back for all the good things he's given me. Because he's such a sweet guy. Yeah,
the Society for the Havens of Taxes for non-dom status.
Well, yeah, I just picked that one out from... someone told me that was a good one, and I thought, that sounds non-dom, I don't like being dommed, so,
Yeah, and you're also... not only are you asking this about, you're also the advocate for a major charity called Non-Choice, which is the removal of all choices from every single woman globally.
Yeah... it just causes all sorts of problems when we got all these different choices. I feel like it'd be much better if we were just set in some leg shackles and told what to do all the frigging time.
Right. And what would you say to some of your critics, which after this interview will be everyone, that you're making it harder by, making it harder for other artists who might have far more genuine grievances, than you do?
Didn't really think about that, to be honest. I just wanted more money. I mean, I wanted to see justice happen.
Right. No more questions, Your Honour, or whatever. I don't know. I think, Karen, we'll just probably cut this one now.
No.
Yeah,
You can't do this, I'm Karen to Tim!
Yeah. All right, Karen. Bye.
Oh, I want to speak to your manager.
I don't have a manager.
Thank you, Jambaggers. That's bringing us towards the end of another of our comedy gaming podcasts. As you know or may not know, if this is your first time listening to us, we normally end our podcasts with some questions from random people on Twitter, usually the same random people that we normally get questions from. But we've got a big stack of them this month, haven't we, Rudy?
We've got a massive load. Some of them are...
Massive load.
Well, how do I put this? The insane ramblings of people that have lost the thread and the plot. But there are some choice ones out there. So I'm going to go through them. We're going to rattle through these, I think, to get through, because we've got about sort of like 5 or 6 and time is ticking. So if you don't mind, I'm going to leave the first one. The first one is from friend of the podcast, Squire of Twitch. Excellent streamer.
Squire.
Do check him out on Twitch.
Yes, absolutely.
And this is probably, I'm going to go in the condescending order because these are probably the most sensible questions, and they kind of get worse as the rest of the podcast goes on. But first question is this one for you, Dante, because you're canny for a deal. What are you buying for Black Friday?
Oh, Black Friday. What am I on the lookout for on Black Friday? I mean, does it have to be kind of gaming related, or?
Well, I mean, it can do. I don't want to get into too personal if I don't know what you're getting, but I mean,
I am on the lookout for a copy of Top Gun Maverick on 4K, which would be pretty cool to have, and I'm looking for a copy of Dog Soldiers on 4K as well, because I've not seen that in way too long, and they've only just recently released it.
Okay.
Gaming wise, there isn't that much for me gaming wise at the moment, to be quite honest with you. Beyond kind of presents for my son, I want to try and get a cheap copy of one of these Pokemon games that is eventually going to suck. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's a good choice. I mean, my answer is all my wife's presents for Christmas is what I normally buy on Black Friday.
Basically.
For a gaming point of view, I'm quite interested. I don't know if it's going to be a price drop. It's only just come out, but I'd quite like to pick up Persona 5 Royal on Switch physical, because it's kind of the game that I'd quite like to have physically and to give it a go. But what I tend to do is just scan through and see if I can find anything I fancy. I always tend to buy a load of micro SD cards for my many retro-themed handhelds as well, because they tend to be a bit cheaper, and I always need one, so I get them stocked up ready for the next device. But we have a second question from Squire, which is, who's going to win I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here? Which, for those not in the know, is a British reality TV show where a bunch of apparent celebrities are sent to a jungle in Australia where they do tasks like eating animal dicks and get covered in insects and stuff, have a horrible time, and then we'll laugh at them and whatnot, and some of them get loads of money out of it and some fame. We don't really watch it, I think it's fair to say.
No.
It's quite...
No, absolutely. All I know about it is the fact that there's some fairly high-ranking Tory politician who's basically left his job as an MP to go on it. Is that what's happened?
That is correct. Not only that, is the MP who is responsible really for the excess deaths of thousands of people through some very, very poor decisions, plus breaking his own lockdown rules, plus absolutely loads of cases of, well, in our personal opinion, but not at lawsuit opinion, legal and fraud with PPE and stuff like that. So I don't know who is going to win it, but if said politician does win it, I'm probably going to have to... It's going to be a bit like we're going to have to murder each other, I think, aren't we? Yeah, we're going to have to murder each other in the most extreme way possible. It's going to be like that bit towards the end of Event Horizon when everyone's kind of clawing at each other and trying to rape each other. Yeah, it's going to be like that. It's going to be like, it's the horrible sort of orgy of death and stuff like that, and violence, and the concept that such a scuzzball could... Mostly going to be aimed at you, but anyone in like a 3-mile radius is also... There's going to be some... it's going to be pretty grim. Thank you very much, Squire. Great questions. And I'm sure you didn't see where that second question's answer was going. Next question. That felt therapeutic to talk about. Yeah, actually quite. I do feel that's, also, I really hope it doesn't win, because first of all, I hope it doesn't win. And secondly, I feel very sorry for everyone in the 3-mile radius of us. But next question from Metal Shark, friend of the podcast, paid the pint back. We did. Done. I'm not going to mention it again. A podcaster pays his debts. Yeah, if you could acquire an established online outlet for an absurd amount of money and do a Brewster's Millions like Elon is on with Twitter, how would your 30 days play out? Now, he does put, as a follow-up saying, didn't put this in the question, but I'm assuming an online gaming related outfit. I would imagine so. What would you do, Dante?
Well, I mean, I'd start with the obvious stuff. I'd be kind of buying houses and cars, and then I'd probably be kind of buying kind of computer systems and consoles and TVs and home cinemas and all that sort of stuff. Then I'd probably kind of get bored and start buying kind of various kind of farms and meats and various other slightly more questionable materials, and I feel like it's the kind of thing that would end up then being sold on to somebody else, causing some kind of food poisoning, and then I would end up getting sued, and yeah, that's how I'd lose all the money in 30 days.
That is very specific. I will go with that. But fair play. Again, we seem to have moved a little bit out of the gaming discourse, but I guess it's more about strip mining it for its money and its parts, I suppose, in your case. My one's kind of not quite similar, but I think that if you've got an online gaming entity, you're ripe for attracting a certain type of mind, and by that I mean conspiracy theorists, right-wing nutcases. And I've been intrigued with the idea after watching that documentary Moonfall that the moon is in fact hollow and an alien superstructure which is monitoring us and having some input on our evolution. So I would use my 30 days to collect like-minded individuals, and we will strip mine the assets to put into a trip to tunnel to the centre of the moon and find the space aliens that are living there and potentially controlling our very lives. It's a rush to get that done in 30 days, but with enough,
that would be a great service you'd be doing for humanity.
Exactly.
That documentary was very convincing.
It was, and I'll bring Harley Berry on as well because she probably
why wouldn't you?
Much on, I reckon, at the moment. If she was in that, she certainly hasn't. So yeah, that's it. So I hope that answers your question.
All right, thank you, Metal Shark.
Metal Shark. Dante would potentially strip mine it, spend loads of money and kill loads of people, and I would try
accidentally on purpose.
I mean, yeah, is it accidentally if you? I don't know if you planned it, but and I would try and prove that the moon is a giant superstructure and is hollow and it is full of space aliens who are affecting our evolution. So the next things I want to go for is we have several questions from Enzo, some of which we're not going to be able to get through because, well, we don't have much of a life, but we have some kind of life. Sorry, Enzo.
Was he on some kind of substance bender at this point?
Possibly. I don't know a time when Enzo isn't on a substance bender. But some of the questions I want to pick out here is, why aren't strip clubs in real life like the ones in GTA? And I don't know if he means just that they don't operate in the same way or that they're less polyagonal in the sense of, if you're going back to the old GTA games, like GTA 3 and stuff where...
Oh, yeah. I mean, back to the days of Lara Croft and the triangular assets.
So why aren't strip clubs like the one in GTA? Well, I don't know. I've played GTA, so I remember the strip club scenes, but I've not really frequented many real ones. Have you done so?
No, I've never actually been in a strip club to this date. So yeah, I'm sort of unaware, but I feel like they're probably fairly unrealistic depictions of those. I mean, even in kind of films, you get different versions of what strip clubs would look like there, and I just get the impression that when you see them in GTA, you're not getting the full kind of experience of what they probably smell like, kind of coconut oil and glitter and all that sort of stuff.
And lost dreams. And desperation. And that's just me. If I was in one, that's my pheromones that I'd be using out.
And I feel like if I tried any of the things that you would do in the activities in GTA 5 strip clubs, you would just be kind of kicked out instantly without any kind of way of ever getting back in. You'd be sort of banned. And then life would not be like a video game in that case.
And I think I need to say to you that it's, just in case this is something that you need some help with, is that none of life is like GTA. No. I mean, for example, if you do go on a massive killing spree of like police and law enforcement officers, unlike GTA where there's an endless supply of them, you'll run out of them quite quickly in the real world. There isn't that many of them. I mean, you'll probably get killed before that, but if you did manage to get the upper hand...
Well, yeah, and by being kind of gunned down to death and having the big wasted thing come up in front of the screen, there's not really any coming back from that, whereas in the game, you just kind of respawn at a hospital and you're all hunky-dory with no problems. Yeah, so life not being like video games... Yeah, it's probably the reason for why the strip clubs aren't like video games.
And I feel this next question from Enzo is more targeted to you as our resident Ubisoft fan. But Who can bail me out of the Italian jail when I inevitably climb the Duomo in Florence and attempt to synchronize? A reference to Assassin's Creed 2, I believe, the best Assassin's Creed game. Or is it?
No,
I don't know.
Or is it? No, is it? Yeah. Yeah, it's been a while.
Anyway, so what you know, who can bail? Would you bail Enzo out if he was?
Could or would I? I mean, if I feel like someone being very much on my wavelength and wanting to kind of do Assassin's Creed for real, if I had the money, I would bail him out. But it's very unlikely I would have the money or the ability to go to Italy and do it if I had if we weren't kind of doing this as a kind of a team effort. And if we were doing it as a team effort, I'd be in as much trouble as he would. So I feel like it would be difficult for me. How about you?
I've got an interesting one here, which is that he says that when he climbs to the top of the Duomo in Florence and attempts to synchronize. Now, if he does synchronize or attempts to, it's fine. Now, traditionally, the way out of that situation for an Assassin's Creed is to do the leap of faith and fall into a conveniently placed pile of flowers or straw and hay. Yeah,
very, very shallow straw and feathers and hay. But
I'm not an expert, but the moment's quite tall. I don't think I'm going to need to bail you out if you follow through on this. Once you've synchronized, you've got to get down, and I fear very much that your way down will lead to a very swift and quite mucky end. So
back injury, paralysis through a back injury at the very least.
And I think that all I'd need to do then is just pay a few euros to get them to scrape you up and stick you in a jam jar and send you back to me. So there you go, Enzo. That's what I would do. I'm going to end the podcast with 2 questions from the host of the Anybody Gaming, ab-gaming.com podcast. James hasn't got quite as good a beard as Rudy Raw. So it's not Raw, it's right, but I'm just to wind him up. He's got a couple of questions in here, and I like one of them. I'm going to leave this one because I think it's quite pertinent. He's put, if Milan Husk.
I
don't know if he's talking about there. Hey?
No.
If Milan Husk bought, or could be Melon, but I think Milan sounds better. Milan Husk bought Jambags and fired around 50% of your workforce. How long would you, Rudy, mourn Dante no longer being part of the team?
What?
And I've put a lot of thought into this, and Elon, and Space Karen, Phony Stark, whatever you go by nowadays, I would quite happily get bought out, and it wouldn't cost you 44 billion for a start. And I could say right now that yes, it would be difficult to move on without Dante in the podcast, but nowhere near impossible. In fact, I could probably start recording minutes after the deal's done. So just call me. Just call us. Milan
prick.
I know, but
asshole.
It's not me. It's the billionaires are going to billionaire, aren't they? It's just what they're going to do. If they want to buy us, they're going to buy us, and if they want to get rid of us, they're going to do. He's going to do a podcast code review and look at it and go, actually, Rudy talks quite a lot, a bit more probably, and it's the editing's done on his computer, so
all of that. I will just start my own podcast, the Jambags podcast, and I would then sell it out to Beffrey Jesus, who would come along with his Dan Danielson, who would come along and kind of make it kind of obliterate your, I don't know, whatever Elon has.
And what is your podcast going to be about?
Does it even matter? The future of gaming?
Wow, sounds like a must listen. On to the final question then for this month's podcast, indeed the end of the podcast. Okay, this is a long question, but what is a jam bag? Asked James. Is it a bag full of jam, a metacritical examination on the human psyche, a robust implementation of the deepest, darker desires of carnal thought, or is it literally a bag full of jam? And I'm going to tell you right now, you'll never know. You'll never know, James. No. Have you seen Pulp Fiction, James? Have you seen Pulp Fiction and the suitcase that lights up when you open it? What's in it? You'll never know. Is it drugs? Don't know. Is it jam? Could be. Is it your wildest dreams? Who knows? Is it gold bullion? What is a jam bag?
Is it?
It's James to say right now, you will never know. It is a mystery to everyone.
Testicles.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, we've kind of given it away now, haven't you?
Yeah, no, they're Hobbit films. Shoot him in the jambags. He means testicles. It's testicles. Jambags are balls.
Well, on that fantastically well-rounded ending, Dante, how can people get in touch with us on the socials?
Oh, to get in touch with us, well-rounded testicles on the socials. They can find us on Facebook. If you search through Facebook for Jambags, you'll find the Jambags Facebook page. If you look for us on Twitter, you'll find @Jambags_UK. You'll find the Rudy-controlled main Jambags account. And if you go onto Twitter, again, if assuming it's still there by the time this airs, @Dante RDRGZ JB. You'll find the Dante account there as well. But the two are linked. If you find one of them, you should be able to find the other one. Also on the Instagram, @Jambags_UK, you'll see various pictures of my long-running video game crush, which is Cassandra from Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and some other pictures of random stuff. And you can also get in touch with us and communicate with us through the YouTube comment sections and any kind of comments and feedback sections on any of our podcasting locations. Where else, other than where they are listening to us right now, can people listen to us, Mr. Rudy?
I thought you'd never ask. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, on Google Podcasts, on Spotify. You can listen to us on any good RSS feed-based app on your phone or device. And we also put out a copy of our podcast with, some waveforms, etc. in on the YouTube on Jambags channel. Search for Jambags, you'll find our logo and see uploads for us as well. If you are in those platforms that allow a like, subscribe, comment or review, please do it. If you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, comment, anything, all good. Helps us shoot up the ratings and take on the greatest podcasts at the bottom of the list. So that would be amazing if you could. And I think, so that's us for another month.
Domo? Arigato? No, that's not right.
Dante, what are you learning Japanese?
Nothing. No. Yes. I'm trying to learn some Japanese. So maybe I could go back and actually get that exclusive before Jason Schreier sends the boys round. And
Jason Schreier's already covered it. It's sorted. He's going to jail. What? It's complete. And how many words have you got so far in your vocabulary?
Konnichiwa, and domo arigato, Mr. Roboto.
Oh boy. Okay. I tell you what. I'm out. I'm going to leave you do this. So I'm out.
How dare you?
Jesus.
I did it again, didn't I?
You did a massive racism, mate.